Hello, back to the Gaming Thoughts and Opinions channel. Today on the Comic Book Report, we're reading Daredevil, The Man Without Fear by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. It was a very good book, but Sam, first things first, please explain what the book's about, what's it trying to do, and what time it came out, and its
Okay,
importance.
so this came out in the 90s, where most of Frank Miller's stuff happened. It's kind of like it's a more fleshed out origin story for Daredevil. Like, it keeps a lot of the same stuff that Daredevil's origin had originally. Dad's a boxer. He saves a guy from getting hit by a car. Toxic chemicals are spilled on his face, and his senses are heightened. But this adds in extra layers. Like, it goes more into his relationship with Foggy, and I think it goes into Elektra a little more.
Yeah.
And his father, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also introduces Stick. I think this actually introduces Elektra too, but I'm not entirely sure.
No.
But it
Stick's the one who trains him and heightens his sentence even more.
Yeah.
Than it could be.
Yeah. So this is it's a lot darker too.
Yeah, I love it.
Frank Miller is known for being an incredibly dark writer and person. He's a little bit racist, a little bit misogynistic at times.
We all are at times.
We all are, so I don't hold it against him.
I mean, if he makes good stuff like this, I could look past that. It's not going to bring back slavery or anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is my favorite comic that I read. I really like Flash, but I like this more than Flash because the premise of the superhero is it's real things. Like, there's blind people, their sentence get heightened, but not to this degree. Like, he turns it up, like, to 11 on what a regular human is. He's, like, peak physical fitness and peak of senses, besides sight, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's why Batman's my favorite superhero, because he has the one superpower that capitalists have, which is money, to give himself his abilities, and he gives himself fitness and training, because that's his superpower.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's just an extension of what we already are. Like, they're superhumans, and I feel like other superheroes like Superman is just like an alien. Isn't that his thing? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's just an alien.
Yeah. And like in their powers, they're not based in like humanity. Like that's why I like Flash as well. He's just a super fast guy. So the closest thing we have to that is Usain Bolt. He's pretty fast, but not fast in real life. Anyways, yeah. I mean, he's only getting older. He's past athletic prime, I'm pretty sure. He's testing it out. Anyways, I like the darkness, as you said. I feel like it told the line between dark and being gory, had dark themes. They had scenes where people got shot in the head, but it wasn't gratuitous and it wasn't gross, which I would know because I've been on live tweet before. I've been on some gore videos where I've seen people get shot in the head, and they did it tastefully here. So I'm happy about that. But I just felt comparing this to Miles Morales, and maybe I shouldn't be comparing it to that, but I felt even though his story is not relatable, my dad didn't die. I'm not blind or anything like that. I felt like, I don't know, more connected to this character rather than Miles Morales, because he went through like very early on. He had some adversity, like very large but realistic adversity, I feel. And Miles Morales, like, yeah, he had adversity too, but he's also reluctant to have his superpowers. Like, what kind of shit is that? I want a superhero that's like into it, and he has a reason to be as extreme as he is. He's extreme about wanting to have justice and studying the way he does and all the crazy stuff that he does. And I feel like Miles Morales didn't have that. He was just some kid that wasn't really into the stuff that he does. He had to be kind of forced into his role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want reluctant superheroes. But I don't know. How do you feel about just the overall theme of the book?
I really liked it. I got into it after watching season 1 of Daredevil on Netflix, which borrowed heavily from that and Frank Miller's other stuff, which we'll be reading later.
Okay. Could we read that next week?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All right.
Die Another Day. Not Die Another Day. Maybe. I can't remember what it's called exactly.
All right.
Crap, I didn't bring it all. Yeah, it's really good. It was weird for me because it was one of my first comic books,
Mm-hmm.
And previously I had read The Immortal Iron Fist and some Spider-Man and Flash stuff. So it was nowhere near this dark. Like, I read straight up heroes, but this is Daredevil as an anti-hero more than
Anti-hero?
anti-hero.
I'm not gonna correct your pronunciation. I'm just questioning how is he an anti-hero?
Well, he goes to more extremes to get justice than even Daredevil used to do. Like, Frank Miller's Daredevil tortured people to get information. Does that a lot. Beats criminals nearly to death and then leaves them for dead.
Didn't he straight up kill people in this stuff?
And then he just straight up,
Yeah. He pulled the pin on a grenade as he had like strapped to like a dock. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's cool. So anti-hero. I guess this is. I didn't learn much about writing and like storytelling at school.
Of course not.
So I mean, it would be really nice to have my vocabulary up. But what exactly constitutes an anti-hero? I know I seem like a noob, but I just feel I need that answer.
I don't have a technical definition. I'd have to look that up. So if you want to cut out me Googling it. Okay, so an anti-hero, very simply, is a protagonist in a story that lacks conventional morals or heroic attributes.
Okay.
This Daredevil has no morals.
Yeah.
Or at least not ones that are obvious.
Well, it seems that he divorces himself from what he's doing. Like he has at certain points in this book, he had to tell himself like to stop feeling sorry about what he did, and like even though that image of him where he pushed the woman out of the window and she falls to her death, like keeps like a couple of times it keeps popping up in his mind. That's keep telling himself I can't worry about that. And at certain parts he has to eschew emotional and physical pain and like just be detached from that. Because one time he got shot in the arm, he just said I'm just not gonna feel. And then once he got it under control, he started back to feeling again. It's like it's okay for me to be in tune with my feelings now. And it seems that his morals are the laws of the United States. Because when he was a kid, he studied the law a lot.
Yeah.
They delved in that a little bit because that's why he became an attorney. He wanted to be an enforcer of the laws, but I guess a more direct way. And he said this, he doesn't like dealing with people indirectly. He wants to directly solve the problems. That's why he's a vigilante, and that's why he's doing what he's doing.
So he's capping bitches.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, yeah, that's the main point. That it seems that his morals are law, and like he's just a physical manifestation of law being practiced, which I like.
To a very extreme point.
I mean,
but sometimes you need a bit of an extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
I mean, when you're having child prostitution rings, I feel like it's okay. It's okay to kill a few people to end this.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. Where should we go here? Should we go into some of the characters?
Yeah, sure.
We did Daredevil enough, but let's talk about Elektra. I have questions about her.
Okay.
So they hinted at how she's basically Daredevil. I mean, she's not blind, but she has like the same capabilities.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was also trained by Stick.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
And Stick said she's on the dark side, leaning towards that, and she needs to stay away from Matt Murdock or Daredevil because he will infect him with the darkness as well. Mm-hmm. So what is that darkness that they're talking about?
I'm not. This won't be a definite answer.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, but she's way more willing to kill, and she has almost no guilt. She's got some sort of supernatural being, or not being, but she's got a supernatural thing inside of her.
Oh.
I'm not exactly sure what it's called in the main Marvel universe. In the show, they touch on it. It's called the Black Sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's this. It's like a super. It's a super weapon basically, but it's in a person.
And it's not. Is it administered by any villains or anything?
No, it's like you're born with it, and it's like this thing that's worshipped by a group called the Hand, the ninja clan that he fights. Did they touch on the Hand in this?
Mm-mm.
No, they did not. But in the show at least, because that's the clearest I can remember it being is she's a super weapon that's like very few are ever born. They've only come across like 2 that they've ever mentioned.
Would that be Elektra and Daredevil?
No, Elektra and just some kid that Stick killed earlier.
Okay.
But Elektra is supposed to like win the war.
The war against who?
There's a war between the Hand, which is the evil ninja thing, and then Stick's group is the Chaste.
Oh. I only saw one other person from the little Sticks group.
Stone?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Stone. Yeah, Stick and Stone. The puns.
Alright.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, Stone had that little one silhouette of him. He reminded me of Bruno from Pokemon. And speaking of Pokemon, between Pokemon and the games, or the main thing, the main universe, and the shows are a separate universe. And the shows, like in the anime, it doesn't really follow the conventions of the video games. Is the shows for most comic book stories, or is that the same way where the comic books are the main thing, and the shows are offshoots that really don't abide by the comic book rules?
It depends on what you mean by comic book rules.
Well, I mean, do they have to answer to like the same villains in the same way, or people have the same powers, or just like how much
There's
liberty do
usually
they
a
have?
lot of overlap
Should they follow closely to the comic books?
most of the time, or they at least follow close enough, like in terms of character powers, what villains do, whose villains interact with who.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the way like movie and TV rights work, you don't just get a single character. You get like a character and then their entire rogues gallery. So like for Spider or not for Spider for Flash, if Warner Brothers ever sold the rights to Flash, they would lose not just Barry Allen, but they'd lose like Wally West, Captain Cold, Heatwave.
All the characters under that?
They'd lose like everybody, really.
Okay.
They'd lose a lot of people. Not everybody, but they'd lose a lot.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying like they follow the same rules, same stories, same.
Because they have to, because it's all under one thing.
They don't have to, but they choose to.
Okay. Well, I asked that because when I play Pokemon, I watch the show. Like there's obvious things that just aren't the same, like city layouts or little things like city layouts or like battles that aren't the same and moves that are not nearly as lethal in the games working to perfection in the show. But I don't know. Was there any, like when you watch the show? Was there anything jarring that annoys you like that, or no?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But especially since Daredevil on Netflix was so well made. Any differences that I did perceive between this particular run, between Frank Miller's run and the show, I was willing to overlook because it was so good. It didn't matter that slight differences arose.
All right. Well, let's get back to. I want to talk more about Stick. You said this thing again was Cast. That's his group.
The Chast.
Chast.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Chaste.
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 Okay. What does that mean? Is that a real word?
Yes. It's where chastity comes from, pretty sure.
Gross. Ain't nobody need chastity
It's
in
like
that
the
life.
pure, I guess. It basically means like the pure, or the holy,
Anyways,
more or less.
what made him so, like, why is he so adept like Daredevil is with his abilities? Like, who trained him?
I have no idea who trained Stick. Stick's really old. For all I know, Stick was born that way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they ever really go. I mean,
He kind of said that he had to find his own way when he was born, when he was a kid. So I'm assuming that.
he did it mostly himself.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's all I had about Stick. Cause not
Oh.
they don't say much about him.
No, they don't.
So yeah, but he does pop up a lot, a couple times, not a lot in the story, when like he constantly try to remind Matt Murdock that you need to stay humble, don't get cocky with your powers, you need to stay away from Elektra, stuff like that. And there's one point where he has to stick on Daredevil's throat, and he like kind of makes him pass out. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool moves that they do like when the Elektra punches a guy in the nose and shoves his nose bone into his brain. I think stuff like that's cool. Or how in that same scene she grabs a chain and wraps it around dude's throat, like throws at his throat and yanks his head back into the wall, cracks his skull, and then she just gracefully, nonchalantly hails a taxi, gets out of there like nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. There's a lot of things in the story just cool. And how I never thought, oh, this is stupid and cartoonish. Like I really bought in, and it made me bought in. Because if he wasn't as interesting as a character, I can easily see myself being very negative about the fight scenes. But no,
Yeah.
it's believable because they build up to these fight scenes by showing how much he works, how much he trains, and how much shit that stick made him go through. Yeah.
That's kind of what Frank Miller was trying to do with this. He wanted it to be. This is kind of a tagline for a different Marvel like era, but like the world outside your window. He wanted this to be more realistic. He wanted to ground Daredevil in something that like we could actually see and deal with.
Yeah.
And the person who did the next run, I can't remember who that is, but they carried on with that and actually did more with it.
I think it says in this book right here. Is it Klaus Johnson? Jansen?
No.
Okay, maybe not. Never mind. But they did say like he have a couple interviews in the back of this book, and it said that he wanted to make like just like he said more grounded, and he made it more. He made it feel like at certain points for most of the story actually like a crime film or a crime story,
Yeah.
where it's just a guy fighting against this crime, and I did feel that at some points that it's like a kind of like a mob movie, and I don't know what the guy named the big bald guy that who runs all Kingpin. That's his name. What?
He's a Kingpin. Yeah, Wilson Fisk.
Okay, that's his name.
He's a Kingpin.
It's like naming your leader. Like he has to have a name. Besides that, anyways, he's a despicable son of a bitch because the scene where he's introduced, it was right before that. The leader of the crime ring that was already there, the powers that already were in that area was kind of similar to Corleone. I forgot his name. Corleone from The Godfather.
Corleone.
Well, that's how he pronounced. He said Corleone.
Oh, okay.
That's how the character said it.
Fair enough.
Anyways, I forgot his first name.
Michael?
I mean Don. No,
Don.
the older guy.
Oh yeah, Don.
Yeah, Don. He was like he met with all like the crime bosses in the area and said, "Do we want to introduce cocaine to our constituents, to our people? Because we just want to do old rackets and work on that. We don't want to introduce this poison because this is where our family lives." And that's the exact thing that happened in this book. And people were fighting over it. And then the leader said, "Everyone, just get the fuck out because y'all really annoying me right now." Then Kingpin comes in behind him. He has his hands on the side of his head like this, and he's like, and the leader is like, "You're the only one I trust." Whatever, blah blah blah. I love you or something. And he snaps his neck, and then he's dead. Kingpin takes over, and he's already. They said for years he's been working up and aligning people with him. So as soon as he takes over, everyone will listen to him. I'm like, jeez, that's devious. I don't know. I like him. I don't like him honestly, but I think he's well written. I should say that.
Yeah, he's one of the best villains in Marvel, and he's really good in TV too.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to bring this up when we're talking about Flash. Reverse Flash is a fantastic villain because he turns. I just forgot to mention this. I know I hinted at it, but Reverse Flash is like the best villain in my opinion because he at least in Flashpoint, he didn't do anything out of the ordinary against Barry Allen. Barry Allen was basically fighting against himself, which that's great.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was just allow Barry Allen to fuck stuff up, fuck up the time itself against himself. Anyway, that's a video that we already did.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the characters that you thought were interesting or storylines?
Do you want to go into Foggy at all?
Yeah.
Foggy. Okay. You have any questions about Foggy?
No. I mean, I would like them to go more into like their conversations because they kind of had it in passing. So just tell me more about Foggy in general.
Okay, so he works with Matthew Murdock at Nelson and Murdock. It's the law firm they started up. Does not go well. They're very poor.
And it's named Nelson and Murdock because they're at a bar and they flipped a coin and it said heads if it would be Murdock and Nelson, or tails if it goes the other way. Stick catches the coin and gives it back to Matt as tails. So he was like, "Don't be so cocky. We're gonna put like basically saying you're in the back. You still need to focus." So
Yeah.
concentration is a very big theme throughout this story.
Yeah, because you gotta concentrate.
Yeah, especially when you're blind. Anyways, go on about your boy.
So, in this, do you remember if they met in college or afterwards?
They met in college.
Okay, that's what I figured. They start up the law firm, Nelson and Murdoch. Then they hire Karen Page.
Oh wait, that wasn't in this. Like
Right, that was later.
they met in college, had like the college storyline, and right when they named the law firm where it's going to be, you saw no more Foggy.
Yeah.
That was it. But the first thing that you see him in is when he goes to college and you see Foggy is running away from two bullies in the car that's chasing him, and they basically like berating him, give him all like the little, calling him a lard, fat ass, all that good stuff.
Well, he is.
I mean, yeah, but you know, not to be so mean. And like at one point, you know, he just kept getting bullied and bullied, and you know, Matt didn't want anymore. I think the bully started targeting Matt for one time, and cause this is where I get confused, because the person that was bullying Matt kind of looks like Matt, and I think what really happened was Matt got fed up with the bullies bullying Foggy, so he tied one of the bullies up, butt naked on top of in like a snowstorm basically, and the bully had like all night to think about what he did and how it was wrong. The next day he apologized. I think that's what happened. Like, oh, that's cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff that he does because he's doing it to assholes. He's not doing it to he's not doing it to like quote unquote like normal people. Like there's some villains in this world that we call villains, like, but they're not really villains. They just have alternative viewpoints. It's like calling like it's kind of like how our political system is, how we kind of demonize the other side, like how liberals demonize Republicans. That's not okay. But you know, it's okay because child prostitution and bullying is ubiquitous. Everyone, it's not good. It's not good. Don't do this.
Yeah, I won't.
Don't do it. Especially that child prostitution thing. Watch it.
Never planned on it.
All right. Anyways, yeah, it's a lot of. I don't know what else to say about this book. It's a well-written story. I don't know if we should or shouldn't spoil more of the story than we did.
I don't think we really spoil anything.
Okay, so we just talked about the characters.
Yeah, just read it. It's good.
It's very good.
You get it probably for like $15 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's 150 pages. I was able to read it pretty quickly.
It's $10 a page. No, that's not how math
Whoa!
Sorry, I can't. It's early.
Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts on the book though?
Not really. I mean, it's really good. I can't stress that enough. It's definitely worth reading, especially if you like kung fu movies. It's not exactly like that, but it's close. Like if you like ninja stuff, martial arts in general, or if you like Marc said, if you like crime novels or courtroom dramas, Daredevil in its entirety is interesting for that, but this particular one doesn't cover much.
It's really good. It's really interesting. It's just, I don't know, you can look at it in two levels for a deeper purpose, like the themes, the overriding themes of the book. We can look at just on face value. It's just really cool. The illustrations are really good. Even though it's 93, I really like the design of the illustrations. But overall, fantastic book. If I were to give it a number, which I wouldn't, I would give it a 10. It's perfect, Sam. Not a single thing wrong about it.
Okay. Yeah, John Romita Jr., really good artist.
Anyways, that's been Daredevil, A Man Without Fear. Next week we're reading what, Sam?
The Man Without Fear. Born Again? I think it's Daredevil Born Again? Yeah.
Born Again. Oh no, he's becoming a Christian?
No, he's already a Christian.
Oh yeah, he did say something.
Catholicism heavily features into it. Because only a Catholic could be a lawyer and also beat people up at night in his pajamas.
Why didn't it have more?
That was a quote straight from Frank Miller.
Why did it have more Christian religious stuff in here? Like he only said God once, and I thought that like how everyone says God. Like I know he's religious.
You'll be getting more. Don't worry.
Okay.
Frank Miller wrote for like a few years.
I need more, Sam.
Just stab the needle.
Anyways, We gotta get our fix of cocaine in allegedly. So we got in this video. Comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Anyways, see you later.